damage you at all? It's total crap. Wow. I swing and nobody gets hit.
It's not consistent at all.
The grab hammer just really currently is not doing what it's supposed to do. The timing's totally wrong from the time that you press the trigger to the time it inflicts the damage.
Kale, your bug sucks.
Please fix your bug, Kale.
Probably the weirdest bug I've seen. You were able to get Master Chief's head stuck into the ceiling, and his body would just stretch down.
When two people would lunge at one another, there was a possibility for them to actually pass through one another.
Get a person positioned on a rock, and as you're lunging at them, if they drop off the back of the rock, you're going to have to go sailing about half a mile in the air.
It's really difficult to figure out all the different ways somebody is going to play our game.
People will play this in totally bizarre ways.
Kills with just the sword, and they'll just want to go through the game by never using weapons. It really has game.
Game testing is an incredibly tedious process. The main reason it's important to test Halo is we add this one new character or one new weapon. Everything we change has a potential to crash the game.
Ooh, face.
The testing of Xbox Live requires hours and hours of automation for our matchmaking. When you have over 100,000 simultaneous users playing your game, it's very complicated and requires lots and lots of boxes.
There's so many interconnections between code and content.
It is a system that whenever you go into it, if you're going to make changes, you'd better be damn sure what you're doing is not completely breaking things.
The key to Bungie's success is not some sort of magic. It's testers that keep the build stable to make sure that everything is as fun as it could be.
We're grunts. We kind of do the dirty work. We all get in about 6 o'clock. In the first 2 hours, we test just to make sure basic things like the level loads, that the player spawns into the level, we can run, jump, fire weapons, exit the game. That has to happen first thing in the morning because, like with the current test we're working on, it's 11,000 lines of test cases. And then the developers, they want to make sure that they have a functioning build that they can then work on that day.
We required the testers to shoot everything, run through everything, jump 15,000 times in the same place to see if it'll break the game.
These are the weapons that failed on the hull of the Wraith.
Wow, okay, let me change the model and make sure that's not an issue.
One of my niches is finding a hole in the world and that allows you to get outside the playable area. Each time they fix one, it may create another hole somewhere else because of the geometry. So it's this back and forth battle.
The test team swears they tried to jump from limb to limb in the tree and get on top of that rock, you know, and none of them could do it. And then the first day you see a movie on YouTube where somebody gets on top of the rock and gets outside the world.
Manual testing really is for stuff that we need visual verification. Somebody has to watch what's going on and check a box. It actually works the way that we intended.
So go ahead and do a full 8. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So that one worked.
When you click Campaign on the main menu, it takes you to the Campaign UI screen.
When we're looking at player colors, I checked color 1, I checked color 2.
If you want to add something in single player, is this going to up multiplayer in any way?
The difference between multiplayer testing and single player testing is that in multiplayer, you've got a lot more variables that can be going on. You can't control.
You can have up to 16 machines in the same game, and there's going to be different network latency and lag.
A lot of times it's just a mistake where they'll transpose a number or leave a decimal point off.
One machine may think that one person's over here, and the other machine may think that the person is over there.
But all of a sudden, that bullet that should have struck you in your left earlobe, it actually grazes right by, and now the whole world has skewed and you've gone out of sync.
What?
We had a crash. We have designers who take a weapon like the shotgun or the sword and they get it to work perfectly on a single box. But then you put it in 2 boxes that are separated. One guy's playing in Maryland and one guy's playing in LA. And then all of a sudden, the designer goes, what the hell happened? This weapon's terrible. It doesn't work at all.
I'm going to invite the Japanese guys to our game now. Eigo hanashimasu ka? Ganbarimashou. What does it feel like to play US to Japan? Because none of us have done it yet. And Luke wrote all the networking code, so.
Anytime you change one line of code, it absolutely can end up in ways you wouldn't expect.
Every time you add a new kind of weapon, adding that sort of complexity can up other weapons.
They're seeing pings of in the 200s.
Changing a value on a weapon could break the way it reloads. Speeding the Warthog up by just a mile an hour at top speed could mean every time you go off a jump of over 5 meters, you die. If you don't test that jump, as soon as you ship the game, the world is screaming because they're dying every time you take the jump.